Nancy Stevens from Restoration Covenant Church, and we're going to be looking at Matthew 28, verses 1 through 10 from the Passion Translation. After the Sabbath ended at the first light of dawn on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to take a look at the tomb. Suddenly the earth shook violently beneath their feet as the angel of the Lord Jehovah descended from heaven. Lightning flashed around him, and his robe was dazzling white. The guards were stunned and terrified, lying motionless like dead men. Then the angel walked up to the tomb, rolled away the stone, and sat on top of it. The women were breathless and terrified until the angel said to them, "There's no reason to be afraid. I know you're looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He isn't here. He has risen victoriously, just as he said. Come inside the tomb and see the place where our Lord was lying. Then run and tell his disciples that he has risen from the dead. I give you his message. I am going ahead of you in Galilee, and you will see me there." They rushed quickly to tell his disciples, and their hearts were deep in wonder and filled with great joy. Along the way, Jesus suddenly appeared in front of them and said, "Rejoice!" They were so overwhelmed by seeing him that they bowed down and grasped his feet in adoring worship. Then Jesus said to them, "Throw off all of your fears. Go and tell my brothers to go to Galilee. They will find me there." Can you imagine? These women must have been in such grief as they approached the tomb. After all, they had seen their beloved Jesus die on the cross. It was horrible. And they couldn't deal with his body. They couldn't do the Jewish rituals as they wanted to do. They loved him. They couldn't do it because the Sabbath was upon them. They had to wait. And so here they are on a Sunday morning. They've gone and they've purchased the spices. Their hearts must have been so full of grief, much like a lot of us are feeling right now with the death all around us from this COVID-19 pandemic. Their hearts were full of grief. You know, even though Jesus had told his followers 3 times that he was going to die, but he would come back to life, they hadn't heard that. They had focused on the grief and their loss. They'd forgotten the promise. And yet they get to the tomb and they find out that Jesus isn't there. He's alive. And their hearts are full of joy, and they actually see him as they're leaving. I want to remind all of us that today Jesus is alive. Don't forget his promises. Don't forget that he's always with us, no matter what. Even though we are walking through this very dark, dark valley, as we face this COVID-19 epidemic, Jesus is with us. He's our good shepherd. He's waiting to hold us in his arms and give us comfort. He doesn't say he's going to take us out of the difficulty, but he will walk with us. He will hold us. Don't let go of Jesus today.